Hello everyone and welcome to Good Morning Trading. I'm delighted to have you with us again. Let's quickly review the latest news from the financial markets, which are currently under strain. We're in a range on all the indices and on almost all stocks, but it's a low range. There's a tendency for the markets to move downwards. This is of course due to concerns related to the conflict between the United States, Israel and Iran. And then we're getting completely contradictory information. On one hand, we have Donald Trump. He tells us that negotiations are making significant progress with the Iranian government. The Iranian government completely denies having any discussions whatsoever with the American government. Donald Trump explains that they can't admit it because otherwise they're afraid of being shot by extremists and the Revolutionary Guards. So it's a bit complicated. So in fact, no one is lying. Negotiations during war between two sides who are fighting each other have always existed. This is what is called keeping the channels open. Even during the Second World War, discussions continued with Nazi Germany. It has always been like that. France, during the Algerian War, continued to hold discussions with the Algerian National Liberation Front. It has always been like that. And why do I say that no one is lying? Because I'll explain to you how negotiations take place. You are in a very beautiful hotel, obviously a magnificent hotel, and you have 3 rooms. In the main room, you generally have Pakistanis and Turks. And in the other 2 rooms, you have, in the room on the left, the United States of America, and in the room on the right, the representatives of the Iranians. The Turks and the Pakistanis go to see the Iranians. The Iranians say, "Tell that to the Americans." They cross the hall, they go into the American room. "The Iranians told you this." The Americans say, "Well, tell them that." And they cross the hall again to go and see the Iranians once more. "The Americans have just told you that." Indeed. In a completely logical way, no Iranian representative has met an American representative. They are not negotiating at all. They are just in the same place, just on the same floor, sometimes even there. In the same suite only, but they do not see each other. Each is shut away and you have the shuttle going back and forth. So sometimes it's the Turks, sometimes it's the Pakistanis, sometimes it was the Qataris. They are a bit less so now, the Qataris. At the moment, they are a bit less keen to negotiate given the number of missiles and drones hitting their installations. So there you are. No one is lying. Everyone is telling the truth. The truth, let me remind you, it's not that there are several truths, but it depends on your perspective. So yes, in practical terms, no Iranian representative meets with any American representative. That's true. Well, there you are. There's just an intermediary who walks 10 meters to the left and then 10 meters to the right to pass on the information. Is it ridiculous? I'll let you be the judge of that. I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's move on to market analysis. So the Nasdaq, you can see the range we've had since Monday, a terrible range with a low point 200 points up to 500. Here it's a red of just a little over 1%, so be very careful. Ranges are fundamentally not our friends, and here it's a bit difficult to trade. So this morning I honestly hesitated to buy at 24,240, which is really a favourite level for me. Bounce from 250, 10 points below. But I didn't do it, so I regret it, since now it's rebounded by 40 points. The day was made at 40 points. With just a mini lot, that's $800. If you put on 3 or 4, you've made a salary, a middle class salary, 2,000 to 3,000. In just a few 10 minutes, why didn't I take them? For that? You see here, this is the order book, and I didn't take it because we already had. There's a 2-point spread between the best offer and the best bid. The order book is completely empty. And that's something I absolutely do not like. That is to say, the liquidity providers aren't there either. Given the time, the European stock market and for Sorbonne hadn't yet opened. So it's complicated to take a position at that moment. Technically perfect. I had exactly the same technical situation at 4 p.m. or at 11 a.m. I wouldn't have hesitated. I would have taken it without question. At 7 o'clock, at 7:15 in the morning. It's a little bit more complicated. That's something important. You need to adapt to the market's timing. We don't trade at all in the same way. Whether it's 8 in the morning, midday, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., or 9:30 in the evening, an hour before the close of the American indices. Not at all the same way of trading. So you see, trading. I always say it's tailor-made. It's about adapting, and timing is part of that. The timing is extremely important. So yes, it's a miss for today, but it protected me, maybe next time, from a big hit. There's no regret. The order book would have been much tighter, normal if I may say so, with a spread of 0.5 point. Here, the spread was 300% larger. I'd rather not touch it. It's a matter of being cautious. I'm 52 years old. I've been at this for 32 years. There you are. I managed to survive the crash. I'm still here. I trade every day because I've been cautious. I've seen perhaps tens of thousands of people achieve very impressive results and then disappear, completely burn out, just like that. The market has moved a nil. You see, that's one of those things. You want to do it. Technically, it looks good. It's part of it. A bit like those favourite combos. There you go. But it's not suitable. The order book isn't suitable. Well, listen, you skip your turn, go and have some green tea, and then come back to do the good morning training to please you. I hope so. That's what it is. If you're watching, I hope it's enjoyable. Otherwise, you're a bit of a masochist, so try to think about that. You might deserve something better. Perhaps the Nasdaq. So a big range for you. In your opinion, the S&P 500 has a similar range. It's difficult to get past the middle R1 for the week, and especially the monthly support. I'm not going into the details. It's exactly the same pattern. Nasdaq. Hey, 500. The Dow Jones is also ranging, but a little bit wider, the Dow Jones. You can sense they're breathing a little easier. We're moving on to the CAC 40. We're always getting closer. The 8,000 markers, I keep telling you, we need to get back above it. Move back above 8,000 points. In order to put an end to this massive downward wave, which started on the 2nd of March, has been 3 weeks of decline. More than 3 weeks now that we've been under heavy pressure on the CAC 40. Still, here we are. Since yesterday, it's the first, shall we say, serious attempt at a rebound. We're stabilising at a key level, just above 7,000, 7,800 points, which is the monthly support level. Technically, it looks rather good here. What I fear is that it might start ranging. But in any case, there has been this desire to climb back up. On the CAC 40, you can't really fault it for that. There are those 7,750 points which offer a bit of protection. Now, I think that if we get a wave of decline, we'll hit that level quickly. The 7,750, 7,760 points. That could slow things down a little. Well, I'm not enthusiastic at all on the CAC 40, but at least it's just come up for air. It had been underwater for 3 weeks all the same. Impressive long capacity. On the DAX 40 is the same story. That one has already found support just below 23,000. It really needs to stay above 23,000 to confirm this mini rebound. But look, over 2 months, we've lost 2,500 points. More than 10%. On the DAX, there you have the European indices. They're struggling to bounce back, although perhaps they'll rebound the quickest because they've lost so much. More than 10%, but for now, we're not seeing any major signs. For the moment, the decline's been halted. It's trying to stabilise. Well, there you are. The front lines have stabilised. That doesn't mean we're winning the war. It just means we've stopped retreating. That's good, but it's not brilliant yet. Now, gold continues its tumble. Overnight, we've lost almost 2.5% on gold. It can't manage to stay above $4,600. This proves once again that it's not a safe haven, or that the situation isn't causing the markets to panic. And to be perfectly honest, the situation isn't making the markets panic. If there were panic, we would have seen bearish circuit breakers triggered. That is to say, we wouldn't have dropped 10% over 3.5 weeks, we would have dropped 10% in a single day, right from the opening. I've experienced that before. The stock exchange is open, bang, minus 9.8%, minus 9.9%, minus 10%, bearish circuit breaker triggered. And then you just wait for them to resume trading. That can last 5 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. We're not at all in that scenario right now. And we can see it. With gold falling, so there's no fear in the markets. No one is seeking a safe haven at all. Our friend, Bitcoin, well, it's just going about its business. There you go, he's heading back towards 70,000. I told you last week that 75,000 would be hard to break through. We went up to 75,000, and since then we've taken a 10% hit as well. We dropped to exactly 67,500. That's minus 10, and now we're back at 70,000, just below, trying to hold on there. Whether it's over 2 months or a fortnight, we're starting to range at the lower end. It's not appealing. A stock that's doing well. Our WTI has gone straight to Texas. Well, it's still below 100. It's being held back by its weekly support 1. Still, you can see that it wants to go up. We're a long way from the drops above $100 that we've experienced. On Monday, feels like it's been 10 years. Well, now it's barely been 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just 3 days. Incredible. It's lost 10% since then. Well, there you go. This is a statement from Donald Trump, who wants to sound extremely reassuring. But, as I said to Andlin, Lyron says they don't negotiate, they don't lie, they don't tell the truth, but they don't lie either. And perhaps that's the most amusing thing. In conclusion, the markets aren't panicking at all. The indices are holding up well. We don't have any external indicators apart from the indices that could show us that there is the start of a panic. The dollar isn't rising, rather it's Bitcoin that's collapsing. Nothing's moving at all, and we've got the price of oil, which isn't going up either. Fortunately, Simon, no. At the moment, it's never going to go up. We'll find it again. I said they could even pay you to pay barrels of oil. That actually happened. It's something, quite something. I never could have imagined it, but during COVID, they were paying you to take it. Oil was free. They were even paying you to take it. It was completely mad. Why? Because storage fees cost an absolute fortune. A total slowdown of the economy, overstocking, and storage costs absolutely skyrocketed. They preferred that you took the barrel of oil. They were giving you $10 per barrel as a bonus. It seemed like a gift, yes, but the storage fees were $300 per barrel or $200 per barrel. I don't know, honestly, I didn't try to buy barrels of oil in Texas and attempt to store them in my flat. Yeah, that would have been a bit tight anyway. It would have been complicated to get them to Andorra given that we don't have a port, but, well, that's just a minor detail. Right, I'll stop now. I'm starting to drift off into my own peculiar sense of humour. On that note, I send you my best, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, do as I do. I'm on it 24/7, well, 20 hours a day at least. At the moment, I'm watching 3 screens. I've got the television on, and as soon as there's an intervention from Donald Trump, I'm on it. That's what creates the volatility. That's what people and investors are waiting for. And he speaks to us 3 times a day. 3 times a day at the moment, but that's part of the... If you want to take it seriously, do it. And if you want to take it seriously, don't hesitate. It doesn't hurt, I assure you, to subscribe to the channel, to give a little thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated. And then I'll see you tomorrow. Brilliant. Well, I hope we'll see each other again tomorrow, but normally, yes. My art attack isn't scheduled for this week. It's a bit later, normally. because his